are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the crypto market. Is it time for a recovery, or is there more and more downside to come? And there are very important events this week that we need to talk about. And then also Ecomi and Veve, we have a drop stream week basically, or a drop week in front of us, where just one big drop is lining up with the other, and there are also data that shows us how Veve is doing at the moment, and I want to go into that as well in the stream. So we will have it packed. We will have crypto, we will have Bitcoin, altcoins, but we will also have Ecomi and Veve. Now stay tuned for that. Good morning, every one of you. How are you doing? I see already a couple of people are in the chat. Justin says it's way past my bedtime. I don't know, man. It depends what your bedtime is, but it's never too late to just tune in into a couple of minutes of Crypto Morning Coffee. We also have Andy Singh here. Good day, mate. Good day to you. Prince is here. Good morning. Trucking Hank is here. Buy the dip, repeat. Yeah, buy the dip of the dip, and then buy the dip of the dip of the dippity dip. So everything we will ape into, as long as we can afford it, of course, into crypto. Now, here in Germany, I gotta tell you, that summer, if I wasn't 3 weeks in Italy, I would go crazy. I mean, I'm looking right out the window here, and it's just gray, rainy, and I think at the maximum 15 degrees. So hopefully it's better for you guys. But the coffee is hot, and we're ready for the big topics. To talk about some crypto. I hope wherever you are tuning in from, I hope your weather is better than ours. So 2 days ago, I was driving to an anniversary. I wanted to go out. I literally, to get in the car, had to go through that deep of water in the street. So a guaranteed arrival with wet boots or wet feet. Anyways, let's jump right into the action here. So Bitcoin, as you can see, let's get rid of this here. No one needs this. So has fallen out of this falling channel, and or basically has fallen from the M pattern, as if you wish, like McDonald's pattern, we know, right? Let me just quickly refresh. Why does it do this to me? Why do you do this to me? It's because I was watching before the stream the liquidity signal. Anyways, it has fallen out of this M pattern, and obviously people are now freaking out that the bull market has stopped because we did this. And I would say, no, this is a healthy correction. A long due correction, because basically all we had was impulse, one corrective move, and then a massive impulse move, and this is the corrective move to this impulse move. And if you even want to look at it from that way, you could argue that from the bottom somewhere we had a wave 1, a wave 2, yeah, or a bit, not a wave 2, sorry, wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then there is a fifth wave in this impulse, right? Something like that. You could look at it from that angle. However, right now we are on the downwards move, and that is the decisive sentiment. And let's look a little bit at why this could be happening as well. I mean, the markets are probably going to be, I mean, the markets have formed an all-time high, and Bitcoin did not. If Bitcoin would recorrelate, then it would go to a new all-time high, right? Real truth, no face. Just subscribe. Welcome to the live stream here. Welcome to Crypto Morning Coffee. Welcome to the Patient Hodler fam. By the way, I just forgot to add our newest rare hodler to the screen. I will definitely do that for the tomorrow stream. Let's see the chat quickly. Prince says, today Las Vegas heat 120 degrees. For me in Europe, 120 degrees is to bake something in the oven, but you are probably talking about Fahrenheit. That is then what, like 40 degrees Celsius or so? In Las Vegas, you buy firewood to cool off. Okay, seems about right. Yeah, anyways, let's quickly look what's going on. So markets in uncertainty, I would say. Important stuff is, so we have the Mt. Gox. This is narrative, right? It doesn't really matter. It could be whatever thing above it, but this is the narrative right now. Mt. Gox repayments are out, thousands and thousands of Bitcoin being repaid to original holders. Germany is selling, and there is also rumors left and right. People don't really care what's truth anymore and what not. So now the narrative is, oh, Germany bought back $100 million or so of Bitcoin after they sold. This is apparently, according to what I could see right now, this is not true. They just weren't able to sell everything at certain prices, and apparently they moved some money back from that wallet. So at least that's what I have seen. And then FTX before in the bear market, we have now the a fear and greed index that is at FTX bear market crash bottom levels. So if fear and greed and price action is somewhat of an indicator, I would say this is the buy the dip opportunity, right? And we can't be certain. I mean, technically we could go lower, but we are not here to nail the exact I mean, we want to, but we can't always, right? And I mean, we could start something like an accumulation here, a sideways move for a couple of weeks. We could drop a little bit lower to exactly to this support line. We could lose this support and go down to 46K. And even with that, we would still have the bear market intact, but the people would be screaming, the bull market intact, sorry for that, bull market intact. People would still scream for a bear market. So the more downside we're facing here, the more I would say it's by the dip territory. But you can never know. I mean, it could have gone up from here, right? So I bought a little bit already here. Now it went down here. I bought a little bit more. I will see if it goes sideways. I will keep DCAing into that because I think it's a good opportunity, right? If you're looking all the like super long-term projections for Bitcoin, that is something where I want to DCA rather than here when we're absolutely overbought. It's kind of unusual already because we had this before the halving. are now very low already on even on a weekly RSI, so it's kind of unusual, I would say. But I still think that the bull market is intact. So that's definitely happening. What is important this week, and there's a lot that can shake up the market this week. We will have CPI inflation, probably one of the most important factors for everyone who is waiting for rate cuts. We'll have jobless claims. We'll have PPI inflation and consumer sentiment. So all of that very important for the Fed to make a decision for a Powell for Powell here to turn the casino around. And then also we have bank earnings. So it's earnings week. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Delta, so banks, right? And then Delta Airlines, PepsiCo, Conagra brands, I don't know exactly what that is. I think maybe something like, let's actually see what that is. I'm curious what that is. Let me see. American Consumer Packaged Goods Holding. Okay, so it's one of these holdings, probably like Unilever or something like that. Anyways, yeah, it seems to be food industry. Okay, so, it seems to be about right. And Manchester United. Okay, that doesn't really count. But the banks here, plus maybe Delta, that could be interesting. Very, very interesting. 43 Celsius in USA. That's crazy. That's crazy. We didn't have that here. We didn't have that here. It's like we need some global warming to just feel comfortable here. Anyways, and then also look at that. So the US June unemployment rate came out, and it's 0.1% above the expected. So expected was 4%, we're at 4.1%. This is important. Why? Because the Fed will also base their rate cuts, decisions, and whatnot based on that. And there was like, oh, the labor market is so strong, we can go higher for longer and whatnot. Now it's 4.1. It's the highest since November 2021. November 2021 was in the middle of this crazy pandemonium. And now it's high. So all of that is lining. If CPI lines up with that, they could be starting to cut rates. Yeah? Maybe they do it in September. Maybe they will wait 1 month more. But all the indicators are softening basically. Let's see here. Hey Delta Plane, what's going on? AV Creations this morning from Oregon, US. Actually evening here. Okay, good morning, evening there. What's your favorite coin for 100x? Ooh, for 100x. That's difficult to say which was my favorite one. For 100x, like 100x needs to be like in a $10 million territory or something like that. I would say there are a couple of coins that can make it. One that I really like, but it depends on the gaming narrative, is MetaCade. Just because it's almost fully diluted and it's a platform, but it hasn't moved much. So this is a little bit a bummer because, but on the other hand, for 100x you cannot have something that has moved already quite a bit, right? I think with everything that's going on, VEVE seems to be pretty good. Recently on the altcoin stream, I saw a project that I kind of liked. It was demo, but I don't know if it can do 100x, probably not. I think, yeah, if Ecomi does well, like if Ecomi implements the 4 features that we have, you will see it later in the stream, then Ecomi could do 100x. I mean, it's not actually it to go to certain levels. It's not even that crazy, right? Good Good evening from Virginia. Senate. Yeah, Senate is a good one as well. Naka, maybe. Nakamoto Games. But I think it's pretty big. But Senate, I don't know. But Naka is pretty big already. But it just depends on narrative. Everything depends on narrative. There was something else in the DeFi sector that was interesting, but I forgot it. So you have to come to the altcoin stream. Will be way better to find Degen plays. Good evening from Virginia. Good even. The US is strong here. that is for sure. Okay, so let's look at this. So while everyone is fearful because of this, the bigger companies that they are buying, and I made a video just on a weekend showing that actually the ETFs are buying the dip and the whales are buying the dip. Now I have the this Japanese company again, MetaPlanet, that acquired an additional 42.5 Bitcoin, and they know why, right? Because if you look at the Japanese fundamentals, you should have something as an individual as well as a company. I mean, Japan is like 250% of their gross domestic product in debt. 250%. They're like the second ranking in that ranking of percentage gross domestic product to debt. And then also currency is getting super weak in Japan. Their economic output pretty weak compared to what they were before. So definitely at the moment a decline plus or the demographic problem, but that is something that the entire world is facing. And even with immigration, I mean, Japan doesn't have much immigration, but even with immigration, it's the demographic implosion will be one of the biggest challenges. Maybe AI can counter that a little bit. And then we see it also here. Wallets with 10,000 Bitcoin now hold their most coins in nearly 6 years. This is crazy. So while everyone, I mean like the shrimps in this market who are selling out and crying about the cycle being over, and there are content creators that are just swimming in that narrative, which I found crazy, right? There are people that put out contents like explaining why with some weird charts the bear market is over, and then there's the mom and pops, so to say, they are like they are selling their shrimp money, so to say, because they're scared that they just destroyed their wealth or so with their $400 in Bitcoin, and the whale just comes from below and scoops up the entire Satoshi swarm, so to say, right? And that's what's happening here. So while it's holding 10,000 plus BTC have the highest levels since 6 years. Since 6 years, that's pre-last bull run, right? So since June, they have accumulated over 212,000 BTC worth 12 billion. And there we can put it really into perspective what the FUD news says. The FUD news says, Germany is selling 4,000 BTC. So the market is in danger, right? And these guys, they just bought 212,000 BTC. So even if Germany would dump all the Bitcoin, it wouldn't matter for long, right? Even if Mt. Gox repayment leads to a couple of billions coming into, even if it's like the total amount of all the Mt. Gox repayments is less than 9 billion. And so even that would require, so to reach amounts like what was accumulated since June here, you would have to have everyone that got a repayment from Mt. Gox to sell everything, plus Germany selling everything. So and then you have another month in red because then Wales need to accumulate another, I don't know, close to 100,000 or so. Yeah. Delta Plane asks for OMI, do they have VEVE? They don't have the VEVE yet, but they're probably waiting for a good time to launch this. I don't see strong use case for the token, huge MCP, will go 100x. Huge MCP as well to go 100x. Yeah, so you say you don't see a strong use case. I would say it depends really on the execution, because at the moment the use case is almost non-existent. But we will discuss that in a second. Let me quickly go through the stuff here. What is interesting is this is the liquidation. And we had now like one of the biggest liquidation events since FTX. You see it here above my camera. So basically, this screams for a turnaround, right? So this is as a liquidation heat map. This is a long liquidation apparently, and it's just crazy. Or is it a short liquidation in green? Probably. So yeah, we will see how it turns out, but it's crazy time. So here is one of the examples, and guys, please don't be scared. It's just an example, but I want to explain why these examples suck, right? So, using the Wall Street cheat sheet is valid, right? That's valid to use that, but the Wall Street cheat sheet is meant to explain the emotions along a 4-year cycle. You can't take 1 year and overlay it on something that is happening usually across 2 to 2.5 years, right? Just because the form looks different. Otherwise, I could just go into the charts on a 1 hourly and find something like this and put it here and say that within 24 hours we're going through hope and disbelief and optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, complacency, anxiety, everything, right? So this overlay is literal FUD content, right? Because there is nothing like complacency. There was no real or euphoria or thrill actually. Instead, people have been even at this talking about Bitcoin topping out and whatnot, right? So this is just not how this thing works. Yeah, it's not how this works. And whoever does this either has a FUD agenda or has not been in a true bull market, because what we have seen after the ETFs is actually not a true like rampant 100% go nuts bull market. That was a pre-bull, I would say. Anyway, so that, yeah, we have to be careful where stuff is coming from. Instead, we could look at stuff like this. Let's look at this together. I think this was really cool, and I will play it with sound because the person actually explains it. So let's watch this together. It's only a minute long. It shows Bitcoin in a 3D scale. Very interesting along the time, and the determining factors, the 3 factors for 3D analysis, so to say, they are time, price, and hash rate. Very, very interesting. Look at this.
My spiral chart skills and been animating it, and actually also, so I started off with this, where we just see, I think everyone is familiar by now with the spiral chart. So a rotation in the circle starting at the top represents the period of 4 years, and then each ring is on log scale, so we go times 10. And so what I've been trying to add here now is I've actually been trying to make it 3D. And so if we look at the spiral chart now, we got actually the third axis, which is Bitcoin's hash rate. And so we actually see not only money flowing into Bitcoin, which is like represented by the price spiraling outwards. We now also see it spiraling upwards, which is the energy flowing into Bitcoin, by looking at the hash rate. And so we're currently around 500 exahashes per second. And so I think this is like pretty cool to add like a new dimension to Bitcoin. So first shown here at what Bitcoin did to 3D spiral chart.
How proud are you of this spiral chart?
Yeah, I've been putting quite some work into it. It's not easy to make these animations, but
it's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you talk to Wicked much?
Yeah, I've had some contact with him before. I've had some calls with him, and because he also like.
Okay, so I think this is really cool. SL says the lines don't look so nice like yours. Hey, I think this is really cool. Because it kind of puts a new perspective on where we have the halvings and then the new levels, the new price levels, and how Bitcoin is spiraling up and outwards. So it really covers all the dimensions, like time, so that the cycles that they are lining up, that they are taking longer a little bit, just right, but also then the bull and bear peaks and so on. I think it's really cool. Call it the Bitcoin chemtrail chart. Yeah, that's kind of that's exactly what it is, right? Only that this is it's real. This is real. Yeah. The other one is theory. This is proven. Like, this price action is proven, theory upwards, right? So we still have to. This is the Bitcoin spray chart. Yeah. Anyways, so I think there's more to come for Bitcoin, but you also can see why it. I mean, we just saw the rundown in this Bitcoin chart of 13 years. Of 13 years. Or 15 years by now, 15 years of Bitcoin run up, right? So it takes a time. It's taking its time to just win, right? The cycle shows that BTC goes to $1. Where does it show that? It doesn't. It doesn't show that. Where does it show that? Where does it show that? Here, 100k is the level. We are very close to 100k. It doesn't show that. Only if you read the inverse round. Yeah. $1 is 1,596 sats. Is that what it is? $1 hair signal is in. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, but also a little bit interesting here. Our signal also says that we are not in an altcoin season, that altcoin season is coming. Here you see it, basically. We've just a little bit, like, we are flip-flopping around the actual Bitcoin season. But to be fair, I would say, look at this, like the previous time before an altcoin season, we have done the same, like the dipped into it, came out of it, and then dipped really hard into it, right? And I think this will still come. The Bitcoin season will still take fire, and we will rally hard out of Bitcoin again before we go into an alt season. At least that would be logical, right? So I think it's just not the time for altcoins. I mean, you know it also from the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's just not time for alts, and it will stay that way for at least a couple more months, in my opinion. So you see it here, altcoin dominance is holding steady. It's not going up anymore since a longer time, but we could be seeing it rise again for a couple of months, right? And so there is still space for for Bitcoin dominance to run. So that's actually what we're looking at. Don't panic. In a couple of months, it will start to fly. Yeah, I think so too. What's your price prediction for BTC this cycle? My conservative price prediction is 135,000 since a long time, and I would say that right now we're putting this whole narrative of the left translated cycle a little bit into perspective, as we're coming down pretty big. And if we take a little bit longer here, I think we would realign with the cycle as we had it before. And I would say Bitcoin is going to top out only next year, maybe not in the end of this year, but maybe next year. But this is all guesswork, right? I mean, we could just pump insane on whatever, like Fed rate cuts or whatever unforeseeable bullish thing for Bitcoin, and then we could be there in no time. I mean, we could hit the 85,000 or 90,000 in the next 2 months. It could happen, right? Maybe December this year also will get high in. Yeah, I think that could be the start of it. I mean, we have to see if it would play out like this. Let me actually see it like this. Sorry, here it is. This is the chart we drew this in. If it would play out like this, that would be already September, right? Hitting a high. But we could move sideways for longer, and then, I don't know, maybe here you have November, right? And then it takes you a little bit more, and then until the crash happens, it's already January, and then like this. But we can't know for sure, because look at the previous one. It's like, oh, you're coming closer, you have a Bitcoin pump, and then you have a real big, long, prolonged drop off, and then you pump again, and then you hit your high, and you come down, you go sideways, and then it's altcoin season, right? This is the real altcoin season. So what could be happening? We hit our head, we come down, we bounce back up again, and then real altcoin season, right? Then it would be end of next year. We don't know for sure. We will observe, and once we are having some kind of confirmation, like, oh, we're losing this support, and now it's really going down. Okay, then that is time. Then it's time to take profit and not buy anymore, right? But yes, that would be my signal. So these are the signals, and then for Bitcoin, for example, let's look at the monthly as well, and here on the monthly we see it really, right? Here's our halving. We're post halving. We just dropped hard. We have our stochastic RSI in absolute warning shot territory, right? Warning shot fired here. This, as I said many times before, when it happened, this is not good at all. We could have weeks of corrective move still in front of us. This can happen. We cannot know for sure. But what's interesting is, let's get rid of the stochastic RSI. For the bull run, TSI says we're very far away still from our like half away. So we would be at half. But the only thing that I really don't like on this, to be fair, is we've never had such a massive curve down here on this one, right? But I would say if we pump in the next 1 or 2 months, this is probably going to go up again. But look at this, like every time we hit our peak here, it was the bull market top, right? We peaked out, we came back down, we had a bearish cross. So we will observe closely this TSI. We expect it to come up, curve up, and hit its head and then cross bearishly somewhere here. That would be only January 25, so that would be a very early top. Thank you for the $5 donation, Justin. BTC getting sucked down is your claim. So thanks for the $5. I will add it to the Grail hunt on VEVE. So 5 gem upload to VEVE. Which is what I do with most donations, unless someone says it is meant for another purpose. But I really want to get to this mega grail purchase, so I will add all of the donations and stuff like that to this endeavor. Thanks for the $5 here. What's your prediction for the iPhone 15 Max? Do you think the price will go lower the next 2 weeks? I have no idea, man. No idea. And I also don't. I use iPhone, but I don't buy like the newest model at when it comes out. So I want to first see how it's doing, if it's good or not. Yeah. So you get BTC at the price you deserve. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, for me, that's a good price. If it goes lower, I buy more. Like, I will just buy more. If it goes lower, I buy more. That it is what it is, right? So on this note, you could also say, like, look at this. This could be a bigger support. So you have this wick here, you have the candle bodies here, you have all those wicks here. So this could be like the ultimate last support, and it perfectly aligns with the trend line up here, right? More or less trend, I mean. But I could see that, like, you could come down to this trend line and then bounce, right? And that would be, like, I mean, we're on, every candle here is a month. Like, if you imagine, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 months, like, to recover, that could happen. But it also can be that we just bounce here and we go back up from here, which would be more realistic for a bull market scenario, right? But we're living in interesting times. Don't forget, we have been pumping too early. Now we are correcting to realign, right? I'd say. And that's only 27% correction. That's not a big correction. Watch my latest video to see a little bit more on that. Now, let's... Peter Dell says, any thoughts, please, on Mantra RWA coin with its new partnership with a huge real estate company? No thoughts just yet. Let's do this on altcoin stream. Come back on altcoin stream with Mantra OM. I like a lot real world assets projects that focus on that. And with that, let's look. So overall, will it do well? Probably, just without looking at it, because RWA is going to be some kind of narrative. We see here on the altcoin, this is the others chart, so this is all altcoins outside of the top 10, and we just see that altcoins still did not catch up to Bitcoin, really, right? Because Bitcoin did put in a new high, but altcoins did not. So altcoins only hit their head on pre-high overhead resistance, and so also here you kind of had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and now you're like A, B, C, right? So it could be like A, B, C, and then we go again, right? So at some point altcoins will go again, and the altcoin dominance, so just to say, the altcoin dominance, so the Bitcoin dominance does not have to fall for the altcoins to move. Bitcoin just has to go up, and altcoins go up with it, and Bitcoin dominance barely moves, right? This can happen. Like, Bitcoin and altcoins could move together, or slowly one after the other. So you don't have to have a drop off in Bitcoin dominance to have the altcoins move, but it will take time. I mean, these moves take time. If you look at these, like, how long? Look at how long it took altcoins to come back from here, right? From the previous market to when they really exploded. It was 1,085 days. And now from the previous high to where we are right now, it is 973 days. So technically you would be like 150 to 200 days still off of your run, right? And you had a premature run technically compared to this. So for altcoins, I'd say you have something like this, right? You have your first big leg up, and I think the next one will take the altcoin market to like beyond half a trillion. I would say the target for the altcoin market could easily be 1 trillion. But now here's a thing to consider. Let's say someone launches a new coin and 200 million flow in. The altcoin dominance, the altcoin market cap goes up by 200 million. No other altcoin moves. Why? Because there's 200 million in a new coin. So you have to see that even if this altcoin market goes to new highs, it could be that some coins are just not factored in that, right? So this one has to move way higher to lift everything up to new highs, right? So and this is something to keep in mind. You don't want to be only in older projects, you also want to be in new projects with some money, because new projects are the thing that liquidity will concentrate on, because there is just so much uncharted territory. For the older projects, there will be a lot of profit taking when you come close to previous all-time highs, and some will fail to come to these all-time highs. And then also you have to see that some projects diluted the supply during. So they could go to new market cap all-time highs, but failing to go to new all-time highs per coin. So if you didn't accumulate, then in the bear market, you will have to factor in that if the supply doubled, that you have to live with half of all-time high being a new all-time high, basically, right? In terms of price. So all of that plays an important role. Now let's talk about, where's my Ecomi, by the way? That doesn't, okay. So let's go to Ecomi from here then. And we want to have it, where's my Gate.io chart? There it is. I really don't like that trading view is, yeah. So there we go, right? That is the Ecomi. We go on logarithmic, otherwise you can't see anything. So what I meant before is Ecomi, yes or no, right? Can it do well or not as an altcoin? It depends on this. We've drawn this in and we will leave it here, or actually we are going to probably like, how was that? You can, oh yeah, can I select it with this? No, I can't. Is there anything to select this? Or maybe with shift? No, also not. Okay, anyways, I will move this over a little bit more to the right so that we actually can then see the price action. But this is what we need out of OMI, and then I would say yes, if you have all of this, it can turn into a 100x coin, right? From here. And actually 100x, what would that be? A 10x would be half a penny. No. Yeah, 0.005, so half a penny. So this would be a 10x. So that means you'd go to 5 cents and you have yourself a 100x. Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible to go to 5 cents, but is it realistic? I don't know. It's definitely, if you would go back to this big resistance, which I think is definitely possible, it would be a 16x, right? And then if you go back to all-time high, it would be a 25x. Is that possible? I think so. I think that is possible. If you get all of this, more is possible. But the 1 cent target, that should stand. Let's see. Aero is getting destroyed at the moment. Yeah, as most altcoins are. Most altcoins get destroyed in this phase of the market, and that's actually where you want to accumulate altcoin bags. Because they have been, if you start buying altcoins now, you're fine. You're completely fine. Because on their Bitcoin pair, most altcoins on their Bitcoin pair are doing terrible. Which means that if you've been buying Bitcoin until now, and still now, you're still fine. Like you're buying the bottom at the moment. If you're buying altcoins at the moment, if you look at it only from dollar to the altcoin price perspective, then it's not the bottom, but it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you get more Bitcoin for a change, right? You want to take fiat out of the equation here. Yeah, it will be a boring it is already a boring crypto summer, but it could be more boring if we would only move sideways. Now we have a nice dip to buy, right? Will all altcoins go 10x, even the ones with lower market cap? I would say it is different. Definitely the ones with lower market cap, and less likely the ones that have a super high market cap. So for example, Ethereum is sitting right under $3,000. It is very unlikely that Ethereum goes 10x. I would say it is out of the question. Ethereum will not go 10x unless we have something like really crazy happening inflation wise to the dollar, right? I'm speaking of dollar values. So will Solana go 10x? that would bring Solana to 100. Let's look at it. Let's look at the live coin watch quickly. So to make my point, so Solana is sitting at a market cap of 61 billion, right? So, and it would be 1.3k per Solana. So that would be a $610 billion market cap. That would be almost double of what Ethereum is right now. That's already a big move. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. That would be like the absolute maximum target. I would say you'd rather look at you always have to factor in that, for example, for everyone who bought Solana at $20, $1,000 is a huge psychological mark to not sell, right? So many people will sell close to $1,000, where I would say that's probably where at the latest this run ends for Solana. But in general, like the higher the market cap is, the harder a 10x is, because that money has to come in. So I would say exactly the low market caps with good fundamentals, they will do well. So if you look at the top 50 here, the graph is the last one with $1.5 billion market cap. So for such projects to go 10x is not that difficult. They would go to 15 billion. That's comparable with the status of Dogecoin right now, or Toncoin, or ADA, or like before they pumped, right? Or Avalanche, 10 billion, something like that. So here already in the end of the top 50, you have coins that can actually do the 10x, right? And then if you're going to like couple of pages after that, like look at Chili's, for example, 500 million. Hey, they only have to go to 5 billion to do a 10x here, right? And so you go, right? If you have a very attractive market cap, a very attractive coin behind it, yeah, then if you have a coin that does everything right, they have a good narrative, they have a nice following, and they're sitting at 10 million, that could be a 100x coin. Yeah, but it also can be that it gets rug pulled and it's not existent anymore, right? So it really comes down to how trustworthy it is. Is the team docs? There is a lot of research along with it, where I would say, hey, come to the altcoin stream, and then we're going to look at some of these in depth. MK hodling strong ATM, me too. What's your thoughts about 1 million points for tonight drop? Yeah, we'll go into that drop in a second. Actually, we will go into it right now. So there's not much for OMI. OMI seems to want to go lower again. So this is the only thing for OMI that I will say, that it has lost this mega support. It hit its head, bearish retest, we go lower. That's what I feel is happening here. Maybe you could see a double bottom and then you come out, but I want to see this first, right here on the weekly. Now let's do a rundown here on VEVE. So we have a big drop week in front of us on the VEVE Collectibles. So we have the flower bomber, like the Banksy one for MCP. And here's already the first question. What's your thoughts about 1 million points for tonight drop? I think so for me it's way too much, but you have to consider that there are whales that have millions of MCP and they want to maybe buy a grail piece for that. So these mega whales, they are getting rewarded for hodling that stuff on the VEVE app. So what's also clear, the message is also clear from such drop, is that if you want to be able to buy the grail on the next drop, you better stock up on VEVE Collectibles. So I think it's great. And there are so many MCP that are useless. So if 80, 90 people burn 1 million MCP, that's good for the market, because you have to see, I have a 10 to somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000 vault, and I only have 520,000 MCP, and I'm in the app since 2021, mid 2021. So you really see, I cannot even afford this thing, and I'm sitting on 700-800 collectibles. So what I could do, I could buy the ultra rare, but I would cut my long accumulated MCP stack in half, right? I would take a year to recover the 250k as of now with my 800 something MCP. So memo to me is, if your favorite brands are dropping and there is an MCP drop involved in that, you get wrecked if you spend these if you spend these MCP right now. So for me, I'm cool with Banksy, but it's also not the piece that I want so much, right? So I'm fine here, right? And you have to consider you need MCP for that, and probably also for the waitlist. So my consideration is, if you're strongly bullish on this stuff, then you spend the MCP. If people will, and here's the sign, if people don't buy, if this doesn't sell out, then it shows how much people value MCP, and it's also a good sign, right? So then we have the Hulk 180 for 10 gems, 5,000 only. I'm definitely going to go for that. We'll have the first manga ever on VEVE, which will be Ultraman. I'm also going to go for that, probably. And then we have the Hulk 181, which is Grail piece, and I'm not sure if I will go for that. But I will also go for that. So that's going to be an expensive one. And the mermaid scenario, I don't care, right? But these three, 9, 10, 11, this is going to be a difficult week, right? Hey, greetings to Australia. Come back with your questions to the altcoin stream, because I'm really running out of time. So let's look at some VEVE user stats here, and I also wanted to bring this to you. So the monthly market pulse for June. There were 14,000 wallets active, and this is a really great number for a bear market. We always see like Extreme FUD making fun of the 1,000 to 2,000 daily active users for VEVE, but there were 14,000 active on a month. There were 667 wallets newly created, of which, and this is important, of which 442 or something were because of the Blackpink airdrop NFT, right? So you really have to see that there are probably like 250 other new users because of that. And that's also why we're going to see some drop off now, because people are selling this hard for gems, for like 5 gems or so, and then they're on empty wallets. So yeah, here we see it, right? So, and then 83,000 trades. So trades is actually not trades in this term, what like trading back and forth like trading cards. It's more like all transactions, right? And then 10,000 buyers, 60% up, and 5,000 sellers. Sellers went down. This is in general good, because it means that the market is stabilizing. A buyer-seller ratio 1.8. That's pretty good. VEVE had less drops in that month. This is also crazy, and therefore also less minters, less tokens issued, 40% less tokens issued. So we really see now liquidity concentrating on what's actually there, right? So this is good, and this is less like tokens minted with the VEVE Comics platform. Yes, also probably going slower on the VEVE Comics platform, right? These stats very important. So, and then yeah, the flower bomber, we already talked about it. Not going to go too deep into that. What's important is Go Collect has actually, why do they only have like 9,000 followers? Probably Go Collect audience doesn't really use Twitter, but Go Collect published that these comics are coming out on VEVE. So let's make this a new following here. I followed them. Yeah, and then also the VEVE stats for the brandalized drop, which is the flower bomber. There was a flower bomber drop with gems, which sold out. So less than 1,000 users are minting or were minting. 4 new wallets on that day. But over 2,000 active wallets. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Like a daily stat with 2,000 wallets, that's fine, right? Wallets minting 917, mints 1,700, so you see about 2 mints per wallet, which makes sense, right? People hunting on this drop, and they see the future potential of such a drop. The drop did sell out, and we see here also the SR is above retail. It's at 300 gems or so. The other one not. And there is also a little bit of polemic going on, which I want to comment here. So my Collectibles, he did sell off one of the flower bombers for less than half of the drop price. Drop price was 60 gems. And then everyone was, blah, 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 the community manager is selling off, right? Guys, he literally, it takes you 2 minutes of research. You see it here on behind the chat on the side. He completed the set, and he bought 2. You can see it here. He bought 2 of the flower bomber rares, and he wanted to make some, maybe he was just gambling for a new mint or so, right? But that's what the market is for. If you're gambling on that stuff and you want to liquidate and maybe buy another one or so, you should be free to do so, even if you're a team member. That's not the problem. Where I would have a problem with is if he got gifted a flower bomber and he's immediately selling it into the market to extract liquidity. That's where I would have a problem with it, right? But that's not the case. The guy spent 60 gems on drop. He's giving it to the market for 27. Either you want it or not. But he has 2. He can sell it. He can sell for 1 gem if he wants to. He didn't get this gifted, right? So, if this was like a gifted VEVE logo and he puts it up for sale for 5,000 and it sells, and he basically got to extract liquidity off this drop. Why is this flickering so hard in here? Sorry for that. But that's basically my take on it. So I'm fine with this actually. I'm absolutely fine with this. Let the people participate in the drop. I mean, in the bull run, people are angry that team members are participating because no one can get it. Now here in the bear market, they are participating. It sells out, fine, right? They sell it for 27. Hey, if you didn't get it, buy it for 27. You are buying 50% below retail, right? That's basically what it is. So yeah, no problem at all in my opinion here. Yeah, but that's basically it. VEVE, by the way, VEVE is going to burn the remaining stamps. So these stamps from New Zealand are going to be a little bit more scarce than they actually seem to be. So this is happening. Yeah, flower bomber today, if you want to burn some serious MCP, and I have to say, like, if you have 10 million MCP, there's no problem in completing the set, right? Otherwise, and we will see now how many gems you have to spend in the market to get this ultra rare, for example, and what the real gem value, or what the gem value of these millions is to the people that are going to mint this, because some will sit on it. The secret rare from the 1 million MCP will definitely, I think it will go above 1,000 gems. Otherwise, there is no sense in burning 1 million MCP there. Yeah, but
We are here today to
I'm sorry. I just hit the pre-stream thing. Sorry for that. Guys, make sure to drop the like on this live stream if you like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, with notifications on. Stay tuned for more videos, for more crypto insights, and also obviously for Crypto Morning Coffee, hopefully almost every day of the week. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in